We're here with Julianne and Anthony of A&J Premium Homemade Ice Cream. And it's going to be a scrumptious conversation about how they built their brand from a fold-up table to a tent to now they have an operational store. Can you tell everybody where your store is?
It's located along the Parani Savannah Road in Chaguanas.
What exactly do you sell?
We sell unique homemade ice cream. We try to make different flavors that no one has tried before. Like when we introduced our charcoal coconut, we did stuff like tonka bean, and we try to be very creative with what we offer.
Now, when I think ice cream, the first thing, growing up as a Belmont girl, I think sign up in the line in St. James for homemade ice cream. And it's so funny that we still use the word homemade, although it's coming out of a business. But the concept is from there. I also think about how you have the ice and the salt and you have the churning of the hand. How is your ice cream made?
So we don't use those machines anymore, although we did for a period of time. Right now we use what you would call a semi-commercial machine. So basically we literally just pour the ice cream into the machine churns it, and it comes out as ice cream.
What is the most unique flavor that you have that's, the most unique and popular at the same time?
I would say our pineapple chow is the most unique because it gives that sweet, peppery flavor. It's very unusual and most people can't wrap their minds around it because it's so good.
Who came up with that flavor? How did that work? What was there like a science quote and what happened there?
I can't really remember exactly how we came up with the pineapple chow ice cream, but I know that before we did pineapple chow, we did another pepper ice cream. The first pepper ice cream we did initially actually was peanuts. And what had happened, we used real nuts in the peanut ice cream, but we bought pepper peanuts in error. And only after we had blended it into the ice cream, we realized that it was pepper peanuts. But it tasted really good and people were buying it. So I'm not sure if we used that idea and we were like, okay, let's convert this into a kind of a chow ice cream. But I'm guessing that's how we arrived at that point.
Juan and Anthony, how do you know each other?
So we used to work with each other at a company called Vemco. That's where we meet. And I think after a year,
Maybe.
Going to correct me. I took that bold step and I asked her, I said, hey, what you doing later? We end up going out, we end up starting to hang and we got to know each other. And I mean, from then to now, we have built a really, really amazing life together.
So your Instagram has close to 9,000 followers, right? It says A&J's Premium Ice Cream. It has the opening hours, which is great and to the point. And I love the fact that you've identified Anthony and June is equal to A&J. So you've explained what your business is. And then I've seen you play Google, which is the skip the line, which I assume is a connection to the delivery, right?
Yes.
Okay. When did you start the skip the line?
I believe we started skip the line, I think it was like last year.
Yeah, late last year.
Yeah, late last year.
So with these followers, how did you gain them on Instagram? Let's start there.
So actually, initially, when we started social media, we really worked on Facebook. And Anthony was like, babe, people are doing Instagram now. And I was like, listen, I don't know about all this new stuff. We're not going to be doing Instagram. And he was like, I'm telling you, look at it. People are doing Instagram. So, we tried it out. And we put some really, really terrible photos out there initially. And then, we began learning, okay, so Instagram really is just about the pictures. So we do have to actually stage some good stuff. And so we started playing around and learning how to put good stuff out there. And so, you do a post and you see what kind of traction it gets. We learn how to link the Instagram to the Facebook. And, little by little, it built up. We realized brightly colored ice cream does really well on Instagram. People like to see colorful ice cream on Instagram. And I think that's how we built it over time. We realized if we can do posts with engagements, it does really well. Engagement posts on Instagram is not necessarily the same on Facebook, but it's a learning experience.
So let's talk about Facebook since that is something that you're comfortable with. And I see that you have over 14,000 followers, people who've liked the Facebook page. How did you build that 14,000? Was it through ads or was it through your PR, public relations? Because I've seen you have been featured on Loop.
Our Facebook was built generically. We realized that with Facebook, once you are able to connect with your customers, it grows through they contributing by
Wait, hold
sharing.
on. Sorry. I need to interrupt you. When you say generically, you meant you've not spent any money on Facebook?
No, we have spent money, but that is like last year.
Yeah, that's like
Okay.
when we were already probably at about 10,000 followers. So we
So how
started
much? Go ahead, sorry.
we started spending money on Facebook like very late in the game. So
So how much
initially
money was it?
Chunk
that when
change.
we yeah, when we
I need a
began,
number. I need a number.
okay, so this would be like, I don't know, it would be like we started initially with like five US, and this is like over a period of 5 days. But I mean, it does bring good returns. But I think you get better returns if you have already established your audience and you understand what your audience wants and what they look at. Otherwise, I believe that you might just be throwing away money.
So I mean, I'm real sorry to cut you there, Auntie, when you're talking, but I was just like, what? A lot of brands they just spend a lot of money for the followers and don't, I'm thinking the majority of that came from ad spend. But basically, what you're telling me is you built something that had, about 10K before you threw a couple of dollars behind it, and from there you just continued creating the content. So sorry, go ahead and because I was just shocked, I had to be like, what? Go ahead.
Yeah. So I think with Facebook in particular, as June said, our images were very terrible in the beginning, but we always kept somewhat of a story running. And because June and I have very different personalities, when we post, the customers could have connected the dots and understand that this is not just a generic page where somebody just sending images, and you can see that this is Anthony and Junan putting work in there.
This is the first time I've seen a business actually use it in their bio, the default Google website. How did you guys go about doing that?
When we started, we were always looking at ways to grow the business and how do we get the message out there. Being a small ice cream shop, we needed to capture more. So I had created the Google page. I mean, we still didn't understand much about it, but Google prompts you on. So that's where we copied the link, we pasted it, and we realized that Google in itself generates real sales. So it's not just you post, but when your customers post, that also brings traction to your business.
And then the nice thing about Google as well is that Google, after someone visits the shop, Google asks them, hey, you recently visited A&J's, how was it? So then that would prompt them to do a rating, and that rating helps. It helps people find us, and it helps people have an idea of what to expect when they come.
You are proof. I keep saying these things all the time and nobody listens. And at the end of the day, when you have to get something done to survive, you do it well. And this is exactly what I mean. Photos that are on this site right now, where did that come from?
On the Google site, we try to tie all our posting simultaneously, Google, Instagram, and Facebook. So we try to keep the same content throughout. But I would say most of the Google photos are from customers. When they upload, we see, and our customers take great pictures. We can't really.
Yeah. They take better pictures than us.
They take better pictures than us.
So we've spoken about Instagram, Facebook, and the Google generated website. What is your favorite in terms of all these different platforms? Which one do you like managing the best?
Facebook is mine. I love Facebook. It's easy. I understand it. 95% of the time when you put something out on Facebook, the response that you expect to get is the response that you get. Instagram for me is still kind of touch and go. I think
I-
Anthony's
I'm,
favorite is Google.
yeah, I'm Google all the way. Because most of our videos, besides the reviews, we do for ourselves, and Google gives good traction for videos. How it ties with the YouTube account and all of these things. So for me, it will be Google.
Let's talk about your audience. What is the general, sort of the majority of people? Are they male, female, and what is their age group?
Female ages 18 to 44 on average.
So would you say your brand appeals to sort of the Gen Z versus the millennial? So millennial is like on my side of things, and the Gen Z would be like Paula, who's on the back end of this call.
Yeah. Our
So
brand appeals, our brand appeals to everyone, because we have seen where there isn't really a big gap in the age difference. Um, Social media can only track from 18 years.
Yeah.
So to say it's only millennials or Gen Z, I would say it's even across the board, because we have had a very huge mature crowd raving about the ice cream as well.
We have like the older folk, and they sometimes they come in and they ask specifically for the sugar-free ice cream.
when you are creating content, because you mentioned, initially it was like, I'm not really taking good photos. What is the mindset for you to create that content? Because content is any sort of text, image, or video.
So sometimes we're in the store and we see someone make a really amazing sundae, and we think that it would resonate with people. So we take a picture of it and we share it and we explain what is inside of it. When we know we're about to make a really awesome flavor, we definitely think ahead on how we would capture it and how we would share it the best.
Do you have any particular, because you have the free tools like Canva, even within Instagram stories, you can kind of make content. What do you usually use?
I use Viva videos, right? And June is Canva boss. I stay away from Canva. June handles that really well. Recently, we started to use the Instagram stories to create some content as well.
When it comes to, the return on investment, the time and money you spent on social media, can you say that you've seen that connection in terms of what you've done on social media has translated to sales?
100%. 100%. Like, you know, you hear people trying to sell you on radio, ads on television, ads on all other forms of media. There is no way that you can make back the same amount of money with this is just my opinion, with any other form of advertising. Social media, it's cheap. You reach your target audience almost immediately and it's effective.
When it comes to lockdown, let's first start with that, because in our current state of emergency in Trinidad and Tobago, you're closed. So how is your business making money?
After the first lockdown, when the place reopened, we opened a convenience store because we realized convenience stores can stay open. So we decided, well, we do need to have something essential. So we opened a convenience store, and so right now we have prepackaged ice cream available at the convenience store.
So one advice we always give is to start. Whatever your idea is, just start. You're gonna fall. It's going to be hard, but once you start, you can adjust and keep moving forward.
Trust in God and just keep pushing. Just don't give up. Once you continue, there's no way you can fail, right?